First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Good afternoon. I'm Charles Walker, President of City Council. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank everyone for being here as well today. I'd like to welcome some of our special guests we have with us today. Cannon and Delaware North development teams. I don't know if you just give a wave so everyone can see you. Thank you. Councilmember Christian Grandinetti, Councilmember Andy Tuma, and Councilmember Bob Anderson. Legislatures, Jason Zona, Mark Grozio, and Owen Steed. We also have with us the Vice Chair of the NFTA, Henry Sloma. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our Governor, Andrew Cuomo. It's a pleasure to have him back with us again here in Niagara Falls. So after I speak, we will hear from Howard Zemke, who has been on the forefront of the economic development efforts we've seen here in Western New York. Following Howard, we will hear from Mayor Paul Deister, Governor Cuomo, and then Assemblyman John Soretto. Niagara Falls is in the midst of a rebirth like this city has never seen. The progress that we've seen over the past few years is representative of the entire region's revitalization. We are so proud to see our city once again on the map of state government and the focus of such interest from the state's governor. Today marks an important day not just for the Rainbow Center Mall, but for the city of Niagara Falls. And we are extraordinarily excited to see another piece of the good news for downtown. We already are home to one of the largest tourist attractions in the nation, and now we look forward to expanding all we can offer visitors and doing so help grow our city, help grow this economy. Again, we thank you, and now I would like to hear from Howard Zemke.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Council President. I want to join in welcoming the governor of All Things Are Possible again, the governor of I trusted Western New York to get off of the sidelines and back into the economic development game, the governor of 50 years of decline is 50 years too many, the governor of let's spend less time looking backward and more time looking forward. The best friend Western New York ever had, Governor Cuomo. I'm just going to give a brief overview of how today's announcement fits into our region's economic development strategy, how it's been working here in Niagara Falls in Western New York. The vision the state and the city have been working on is to transform the tourism experience here, to build on Niagara Falls. It's so sensible to build on tourism. It's 5% of GDP across the country. It's growing 20% a year. Outdoor adventure tourism is the fastest segment of tourism. Every city in the country focuses on tourism. What better city is there and what better region is there to focus on tourism than Niagara Falls and Western New York? Our strategy is to reconnect the city of Niagara Falls to its waterfront, too long cut off from its waterfront. It's to create a mixed-use, vibrant downtown neighborhood that draws tourists but also residents. It's a great place to visit. It's a great place to live. That's the goal. To grow the area's tourism assets, so people have more and more reasons to stay in Niagara Falls, to stay longer here, and to enhance and expand the recreational tourism economy of Niagara Falls. When we do all of this, we will achieve our primary objectives, which are to extend stays, to increase spending, and to achieve the governor's #1 goal, when he introduced the REDC concept. He said, Zemsky, 3 things that we need to achieve. 1, jobs. 2, jobs. 3, jobs. So today we're extremely excited to announce the project that fulfills our goals and transforms a site that was an eyesore in downtown Niagara Falls for over a decade. The renderings you see here next to the podium illustrate the adaptive reuse and redevelopment of the former Rainbow Center Mall. This is a major mixed-use redevelopment that complements the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute, which, by the way, the governor supported years ago as the first step toward redeveloping the Rainbow Center Mall. It completely transforms 2 blocks of Niagara Falls at the same time. The major components, as you can see, include a new hotel with as many as 300 rooms, 15 stories tall, a new spa, full service, a regional concierge hub to other destinations in the region, indoor water theme park that references the falls and the Erie Canal, among others, family entertainment by way of Nick Walenda's Daredevil Adventure, among others. You can clap for that. I don't know if you know this, but Mayor Deister and Nick have been trash-talking each other about who can walk that rope faster. And it's going to be great when we cut the ribbon on that, because they have challenged one another to a race. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to have creative and compelling retail, gift shops, restaurants, an interior streetscape, and a connection to the Culinary Institute. Folks, what does it all mean for Western New York? It means we continue to do what the governor has implored us to do, which is to be strategic, to build on our strengths, to get off of the sidelines and into the game, to create a great, new, bright future for Western New York. And that's what you see happening in Western New York, wherever you are, all the time. So it just continues that building on our assets. What assets do we have that are more unique and compelling? All the money in the world couldn't create Niagara Falls and all the visitation that we have here. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce the challenger, Mayor Paul Deister.
Thanks very much, Howard. Governor, as you know, our Western New York whitewater rafting team was an award winner at your Adirondack Challenge just a couple of weeks ago. And I'd like to continue that effort on the wire by inviting Howard to join me up there with Nick Walenda. Good afternoon, everyone, and Governor Cuomo, welcome back to Niagara Falls. It is indeed a very exciting day for all of us here in Niagara Falls. I'd like to tell you that the weather is always like this in Niagara Falls, right? And if it was, we wouldn't have any problem with our tourism economy just the way it is, right? We've got the falls itself and now beautiful places to view it. We've got the Maid of the Mist. We've got the Cave of the Winds. But we have sort of 3 minor problems. Number 1, it's not always summer. Number 2, eventually the sun goes down. And number 3, sometimes it rains, right? Which is why this development is so important. That former Rainbow Mall site has been there in the heart of our downtown since urban renewal, and yet has been for so many years vacant, awaiting development, and we just couldn't get the job done. Not until you became governor, Andrew Cuomo. Time and again, we've had the opportunity to welcome the governor here to Niagara Falls with good news for this city. And you know, this isn't the low-hanging fruit that the governor is picking here. This governor has confronted the most difficult challenges, the things that others could not succeed at, the things that were most critical and yet, perhaps most difficult to achieve. How about the situation with the Maid of the Mist? That's that big boat down there that carries people right up to the falls. Been in operation since 1846. Was threatened as a result of a licensing problem in Canada. Right? It's still there today and running thanks to the governor and the state stepping in to help reach an agreement. The governor's decisive action saved the Maid of the Mist. Niagara Falls State Park, where we stand here today, is a better place than it's been for years for visitors and for residents too, thanks to the state increasing its commitment to our parks. I think the governor picked up the New York Times. It said something about the park being shabby. He said, that will not do. We're going to fix it, right? Niagara Falls Culinary Institute has already been mentioned, part of our downtown development. It's off to a great start, supported by the state. We've seen good results already. The enrollment has more than doubled in 2 years. .310 Rainbow Boulevard, another exciting development here with a hotel, residential and retail space that complements the Culinary Institute and helped get off the ground thanks to the state's efforts, right? Well, look, I was there. I'll tell you, it didn't just get off the ground thanks to the state's efforts. It was on life support until Andrew Cuomo stepped into the operating room and personally saved that project. And it was just about 1 year ago that Andrew Cuomo came here to Niagara Falls to bring an $89 million check as part of the historic agreement he helped secure with the Seneca Nation. That money has been a lifeline for our city, our schools, and our community. And I'd like to point out that was the last time I had the opportunity to go on a fishing trip. Governor, anytime you come with an announcement like that one or this one, I'll let the fish have a break for a day or two and come on back, all right? Anytime. So, Governor, we're excited to have you here again today bringing good news. They call it the Buffalo Billion, but we know it's really the Western New York Billion, and we're seeing and feeling the effects of that investment already. There's a new energy, a new momentum that you can feel on the streets, among the residents of this city, and throughout the entire region. Niagara and Western New York is truly back on the map. And now it is my great pleasure to welcome the great governor of the state of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. What a beautiful day. Boy, it couldn't be any better. The weather has done us proud. First, to a really, really great mayor who's done an extraordinary job, who's been a leader when the city's needed it, Mayor Paul Deister. Let's give him a round of applause. Council Chair Charles Walker, pleasure to be again with you, Charles Walker. Let's give him a round of applause. We have our outstanding congressman who delivers for this region like no one else. He's brought a vision for the rebirth of Western New York. Congressman Brian Higgins, pleasure to be with you. To the Uniland Vice President, Michael Montante, pleasure to be with you, and Laura Zafel. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations to both of you. My colleague, who you'll hear from in a moment, from Albany, Assemblyman John Serretto, pleasure to be